ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the most powerful weapon you have is silence. When everyone expects a reaction, a response, or an explanation, give them nothing. This world is loud, filled with noise, opinions, and endless chatter. Everyone's looking to get a rise out of you, to see what buttons they can push to trigger a response. But true strength isn't in responding to every comment or criticism, it's in holding back. It's in letting others wonder, question, and second-guess themselves while you remain untouchable. When you're silent, you have the upper hand. Silence is not weakness, it's a strategic play that keeps people guessing. It makes them realize they don't have control over you, that their words don't affect you. Silence forces others to fill in the gaps, and in those gaps, they reveal their insecurities, their fears, and their lack of composure. Don't let others dictate your actions or reactions. Use your silence to create power. Let them drown in their own noise while you focus on your goals. Stay silent when they expect you to speak. Keep your plans and intentions under wraps to maintain control and surprise them with your moves. Silence in the face of criticism is a powerful message. It shows unshakable confidence, making others doubt their own words. When you don't react, people start wondering if they misjudged you, creating a psychological advantage. Sometimes silence sends a stronger message than words. Let others read between the lines and stew in their assumptions. Avoid the distractions that come with constant explanation or defense. Let your results speak louder than any defense. In a world full of noise, silence stands out. Use it to create an aura of strength, making people hesitant to challenge you. When you don't respond, you control the narrative by forcing others to question themselves instead of you. Silence demonstrates restraint and self-mastery, traits that demand respect and reinforce authority. By staying silent, you leave your opponents to reveal their intentions first, giving you the strategic edge. Replace words with results. Achieve your goals without justifying yourself. Let your achievements answer for you. When everyone around you is looking for clues, stay quiet. Keep your intentions close to your chest and avoid giving away even a hint of your plans. People want you to reveal your strategy so they can try to counter it, sabotage it, or simply steal it. But when they can't read you, they're forced into a state of uncertainty. This unsettles them. They'll waste time speculating, second-guessing, and forming their own theories while you stay focused, disciplined, and 2 steps ahead. Let them think they know what you're up to, but make sure they're wrong. A poker player never lays down his cards until the right moment, and in life, neither should you. The moment you start explaining yourself or justifying your actions, you're already on the defensive, and that's exactly where they want you. You're not here to defend or debate, you're here to dominate. Stay unpredictable. Let your moves be the only revelation. By the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late because you're executing while they're still trying to figure out your angle. Keep your focus, ignore the noise, and let them stew in their own confusion. In a world where people try to get under your skin, refusing to react is a weapon. They'll throw insults, criticisms, and doubts your way, hoping you'll flinch, explain yourself, or worse, show them that they've struck a nerve. But the true masters know that the moment you show any reaction, you hand over your power. When you stay silent and unbothered, you keep control. It shows you're unbreakable, unaffected by petty games, and have your eyes fixed on a much bigger goal. Staying calm when they're trying to provoke you is one of the most powerful ways to show strength. Silence in the face of criticism is like a fortress. Let them throw their stones, let them waste their energy. By standing firm, you project absolute confidence, and that scares people more than any words could. They don't know what you're thinking. They can't predict your next move, and that makes them uneasy. When they can't rattle you, they start questioning themselves. They're left wondering why their words didn't have an effect, and it exposes their weakness. Their only goal was to shake your resolve because deep down, they know they can't beat you in the long game. Remember this, people are driven by their own insecurities, and the more they see someone who isn't controlled by emotions, the more they're forced to face their own lack of composure. They expect you to be like them, easily provoked, quick to defend, eager to react. But by not giving them what they expect, you show them something rare, something unyielding. And that's the real advantage. Refusing to be rattled is not just about maintaining control in a specific situation. It's about sending a clear message to the world about who you are. You're unshakable. You're the one who doesn't blink when others are scrambling. You're the one who stays calm when others are in chaos. This doesn't mean you ignore what's going on around you. You see it all, but you choose what to engage with. It's like being on a mountain while others are down in the mud, wrestling with every petty problem thrown their way. You're above it because you know your focus is your true weapon. There's power in refusing to let others dictate your emotions. Imagine the impact of standing in the midst of chaos and showing no reaction, no weakness, and no interest in their bait. People remember that. They remember the one who couldn't be shaken, the one who didn't flinch. That's the kind of reputation that builds respect and sets you apart. Not everyone will understand this approach, but those who do, they'll recognize real strength. They'll realize you're not just anyone. You're a force. So let them talk, let them criticize, and let them project their own insecurities onto you. Refuse to give them any part of you. The moment you leave people in the dark, they begin to second guess everything they think they know about you. They'll overthink, overanalyze, and doubt their own assumptions. When they can't figure you out, it creates an unsettling void they desperately want to fill, but you don't give them anything. This uncertainty is a tool because people fear what they don't understand. When they're unsure about your motives, your intentions, or even your thoughts, they start to lose confidence in their own moves. Let them think they have you figured out, and then do nothing. Just let the silence sit. Silence can be maddening for those who thrive on the reactions of others, and without any cues, they'll start scrambling to make sense of it. They'll search for patterns, dissect every little interaction, and start seeing things that aren't even there. They'll turn their suspicions into elaborate stories, and all of it is rooted in their own insecurity. You see, when they're so busy second-guessing, they lose focus on their own path and goals. They're stuck in a loop of trying to predict your next move, while you stay focused and unbothered, letting them wear themselves out in the process. Second-guessing eats away at people's confidence. You don't need to lift a finger to shake them. Your silence is enough. They'll doubt their every interaction with you, questioning if they're interpreting things correctly or if they've missed something crucial. They'll begin to wonder if they've underestimated you or if you're hiding a move that will catch them off guard. That kind of mental spiral is powerful because it places them in a state of constant unease while you remain calm and collected. This isn't about playing games, it's about owning your presence. When you allow others to second-guess you, they're revealing their lack of control. It's a psychological advantage that leaves you as the calm center while they expend their energy trying to figure out a riddle with no answer. And every time they come up with a theory, they're actually exposing their own weaknesses, biases, and fears to you without realizing that they're handing you insights into their mindset. Their second-guessing becomes a mirror of their own insecurities, and with that, you gain a deeper understanding of how to handle them in the future. Use this approach to set the pace of the interaction. Let them get ahead of themselves, thinking they're in control, while you quietly observe. The longer they wait for a response, the more their confidence erodes, and eventually they'll reach a point where they feel the need to explain themselves to you. They'll tip their hand, try to justify their assumptions, and in doing so, they'll reveal far more than they ever intended. By simply holding back, you allow them to show you exactly who they are. This is how you establish authority without saying a word. By leaving people to fill in the blanks with their own thoughts, you take command of the narrative without even engaging. That's power. You're teaching them that your silence speaks louder than their noise, and in that silence you create respect. So let them second guess, let them question. Because while they're stuck in their own loop of doubt, you're free to focus on your next move, one step ahead every time. Silence is one of the most underutilized yet potent tools. In a world that thrives on noise, reactions, and immediate responses, those who stand in silence are often the ones with the real power. People are constantly trying to get a reaction from you, to gauge your intentions, to hear something they can latch onto or dissect. But when you say nothing, you give them nothing to hold on to. Silence creates a void that others will struggle to fill with their assumptions, doubts, and interpretations. Let them do the work of figuring you out. Meanwhile, you stay in control. You aren't here to feed their need for explanations. You're here to make an impact, and silence can do that in ways words cannot. Silence unsettles people because it's unexpected, and it shows that you're not reliant on the opinions or validation of others. You're not here to explain yourself, to justify your actions, or to make anyone comfortable. The moment you let silence speak, you're making it clear that you're above the petty games and the trivial drama. People expect you to engage, to defend, to react. By refusing to do any of that, you send a stronger message. Their opinions don't dictate your actions, and you're unfazed by the noise around you. Think about it. When you stay silent, you force others to fill the gaps. They start wondering why you're not reacting. And in doing so, they reveal their own insecurities. They start to doubt their assumptions, question their tactics, and overthink every move. Letting silence do the talking means they can't get a read on you. And that creates a psychological advantage. They don't know if you're unimpressed, calculating, or simply not interested. They're left guessing, and in that guessing game, they lose focus on their own plans. They're too busy dissecting the meaning behind your silence, and that makes them lose sight of their own intentions. When silence speaks for you, it amplifies your authority. People begin to realize you're not someone who is easily swayed, someone who cares to engage in every meaningless exchange. They'll sense that your silence isn't emptiness, it's purpose. It's a choice, a calculated move to stay above the noise. Silence sends a message that you're not playing by their rules, that you don't need their input to define your direction. You're operating on a higher level, one where you don't waste energy on trivial matters. That kind of strength is rare, and it commands respect without a single word spoken. Silence also makes others reveal more than they intend. In their discomfort, they'll start explaining themselves to you, revealing their thoughts, strategies, and insecurities. They're filling in the silence with information they think you need, but in reality, they're giving you insight into their own weaknesses. They're laying their cards out, all while you maintain your mystery. The less you say, the more they're forced to show their hand, and that's a priceless advantage. You're reading them, understanding their motivations, while they're still trying to understand why you're so composed, so unaffected. Let silence speak, because it sends a message without needing validation. It's a testament to your focus, your drive, and your discipline. You don't need to defend yourself because your results will do the talking. You don't need to justify yourself because you're moving on a path you can follow. You're showing that you're here to get results, not to engage in meaningless exchanges. Let others wonder, let them fill the silence with their own insecurities, and let them realize that you're on a different level, one where actions speak louder than words ever could. In a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, staying focused on your path is a rare and powerful discipline. Distractions are everywhere, opinions, criticisms, and unsolicited advice coming from people who don't have the courage or commitment to walk their own path. They'll try to steer you off course, telling you what you should be doing, how you should be spending your time, and what they think is possible for you. But here's the truth, their opinions don't pay your bills, don't build your vision, and don't understand the fire that drives you. You're the one who knows where you're going, and that means shutting out the noise and staying relentlessly focused on your path. Staying focused isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily choice. Every single day, you have to wake up and reaffirm your commitment to your goals, because the world will throw everything it can at you to knock you off balance. People around you will create drama, start gossip, or try to draw you into their problems. They'll waste hours of your time with irrelevant nonsense, hoping to bring you down to their level. But if you're serious about achieving something extraordinary, you can't afford to waste a second on these distractions. Every minute spent on someone else's agenda is a minute taken from your own mission. It's about choosing your priorities ruthlessly, even if that means cutting people out or ignoring the noise entirely. When you stay focused on your path, you're sending a message to the world that you're not easily swayed, that your goals are not up for debate. People will start to realize that they can't control you, can't manipulate you, and can't slow you down. That kind of focus is intimidating, especially to those who lack it themselves. They'll project their insecurities onto you, trying to convince you that you're missing out, that you're too intense, or that your drive is unnecessary. But remember, these are the voices of people who don't understand what it takes to reach the top. They'd rather see you fail and stay on their level than witness your rise to something they could never achieve. Staying on your path means setting boundaries that protect your time and energy. When you're focused, every action, every thought, every decision aligns with your ultimate goal. You don't have time to argue, to defend yourself, or to explain your choices to those who don't get it. Your focus isn't just about reaching a destination, it's a statement of who you are. You're showing that you're someone who values progress over approval, who'd rather be feared than understood, and who's more committed to their goals than to the comfort of the crowd. When you operate with that kind of dedication, people notice even if they don't say it. Your silence, your discipline, your refusal to get derailed, it all speaks louder than any words ever could. And here's the thing, when you focus on your path with that level of intensity, you start to attract people and opportunities that align with your goals. The right connections, the right allies, the right circumstances, they gravitate towards someone who is dead set on reaching their vision. By staying focused, you're creating a gravitational pull, a force that brings you closer to your goals and repels the nonsense that could sidetrack you. People may not understand you and they might resent your focus, but they will respect it. And in the end, respect is worth more than approval. Approval fades, it's cheap and superficial. But respect is earned through relentless commitment, through actions, through results. So stay focused, keep moving, and let the rest of the world wonder how you do it. Because while they're busy trying to figure you out, you're already miles ahead on your way to accomplishing what they only dream about. Silence is a signal that you're in control, that you don't need the approval or validation of anyone else. When you stay silent, you project an aura of confidence that others can't ignore. People expect noise, explanations, and reactions, but when you give them silence, you throw them off balance. They expect you to defend yourself, to justify your decisions, to seek some sort of acknowledgement. But silence tells them you don't need any of that. It says you know exactly who you are, what you want, and that their opinions don't affect your path. Silence is power because it keeps people guessing. When you're silent, they don't know what you're thinking, what you're planning, or what your next move is. They'll spend their time speculating, second-guessing, and filling the void with their own assumptions. In that confusion, they expose their weaknesses. They reveal their insecurities and fears, desperately trying to figure out a person who refuses to explain themselves. This confusion is your advantage. Their energy is spent trying to understand you while you're focused on executing your vision. They're lost in their own speculation while you're miles ahead, using their uncertainty to fuel your progress. When you walk into a room and don't feel the need to talk, people take notice. Silence stands out in a world addicted to noise. It's a quiet confidence that says, I know what I'm worth, and I don't need to prove it to you. That kind of power is magnetic. People want to know why you're so composed, why you don't feel the need to participate in the same small-minded chatter that fills most rooms. They'll sense that you're different, that you're driven by something deeper. And that curiosity, that respect, they're things you can't buy, things you can't fake. It's earned through the discipline of silence. Silence doesn't mean you're passive or indifferent. It means you're selective about where you invest your energy. It's about knowing which battles are worth fighting and which ones are a waste of time. You're not here to fight every battle or engage in every argument. You're here to win the war. And sometimes the best way to win is to let people think what they want while you focus on what matters. Silence creates an air of mystery that people can't penetrate. They'll throw words at you, trying to provoke a reaction, but your silence shows you're above it. You're unshakable, untouchable, and absolutely focused. In silence, you reveal nothing, yet say everything. People start to understand that you're operating on a different level, that you're not interested in playing by their rules. They see that their opinions, their criticisms, their noise, it's all meaningless to you. And that realization is intimidating. It tells them that their power stops where your silence begins, that no matter what they say, they'll never shake your focus. You're beyond their reach, and they know it. So let silence be your strategy. Let it project your power. In a world that demands reactions, explanations, and approval, your silence will set you apart as someone who doesn't need any of it. You're on your own path, you're not looking for validation, and you're not here to play their games. Silence is the statement that says, I'm here to conquer, not to explain, and that's a statement they'll never forget. Controlling the narrative is one of the most powerful moves you can make. If you don't control the story around you, someone else will, and that someone likely doesn't have your best interests at heart. The world will talk, people will speculate, and opinions will fly, none of it in your control, unless you decide to own the narrative. When you define how you're seen, what you stand for, and where you're headed, you're playing a game that most people don't even understand. You're shaping reality on your terms, and that's a power move most people can't even comprehend. Controlling the narrative isn't about arguing, explaining, or justifying yourself. It's about setting the tone and direction without ever giving away too much. People will try to pin you down to get a reaction, to label you in a way that fits their comfort zone. But when you're in control, they'll find nothing to hold on to. You decide what they see and what they don't. They're forced to watch your moves unfold without a clear picture of who you are or what's coming next. That kind of unpredictability keeps you one step ahead, leaving others in a constant state of uncertainty. When you own the narrative, you're not reacting to every rumor, criticism, or opinion. Instead, you're defining your image, shaping the perception, and most importantly, staying focused on your purpose. Your actions become intentional, calculated, and each one adds to the story you want to tell, not the one others try to impose on you. People might talk, but they won't have the full story. They'll be left with bits and pieces, guessing and overanalyzing while you keep the real story to yourself. That's the beauty of being in control. Others are left confused while you operate from a position of power and clarity. By controlling the narrative, you position yourself as a leader. Leaders don't waste time explaining every move. Leaders don't seek permission. Leaders move forward with purpose. And those watching either fall in line or fall behind. When you make it clear that you're not interested in the opinions of those who don't matter, you show that your vision is bigger than any noise around you. People start to see that you're on a mission and that your actions speak louder than their chatter. They realize you're not playing for approval, you're playing to win. Let your results do the talking and let the narrative unfold through your success. The people who try to twist your story will eventually be forced to reckon with your achievements. There's no need to convince anyone of who you are or what you're capable of. The narrative you control is a quiet, relentless commitment to your goals, a vision so clear that anyone watching will eventually understand that you're not here to play by their rules. And once they see the success you've created on your own terms, they'll be left with no choice but to acknowledge the truth. When you control the narrative, you're not bending to anyone's expectations. You're not influenced by others' small-minded judgments. You're the one in charge, setting the standard, defining what's possible, and leaving others in the dust. That's real control. And when you control the narrative, you become unstoppable. Forcing them to play their hand is about control. It's about setting the stage so others reveal themselves, exposing their intentions, weaknesses, and hidden agendas before you even have to make a move. Most people act impulsively, showing their cards without thinking, hoping you'll react, hoping you'll show your strategy. But when you hold back, stay calm, and let them make the first move, they end up doing all the work for you. They tip their hand, give away their game plan, and show you exactly what they're afraid of. All you have to do is watch, listen, and keep your cards close. When you force others to play their hand, you're pulling them out of their comfort zone. They're used to people reacting, showing emotions, scrambling to respond. They're accustomed to seeing people get flustered, defensive, or eager to explain. But when you stay silent, unmoved, they start feeling the pressure. They need to know what you're thinking. They need some clue to feel in control. And when you don't give it to them, they get desperate. That desperation makes people reckless. They'll reveal things they would never say if they felt secure. They'll make moves they'd avoid if they weren't trying to impress you or rattle you. By letting them come to you, they lay out their cards piece by piece. You're not just gathering information here, you're showing that you're in control of the interaction. You're not reacting on their terms, they're playing on yours. People reveal more about themselves when they're uncomfortable. And when you refuse to react, you put them in a position where they either have to double down or retreat. Either way, they expose themselves. In their eagerness to dominate the situation, they end up showing you exactly what they value, what they fear, and where they're vulnerable. It's a front row seat to their insecurities and their tactics, and it costs you nothing. Keeping others off balance and making them play their hand isn't about manipulation, it's about putting yourself in a position of strength. You're showing them that you're not someone they can push around, that you don't dance to their tune. You're unbothered, composed, and confident, and that alone forces them to prove themselves to you. Their need to control the narrative, to get a reaction, to see where you stand, makes them act out of character. And once they've shown you their cards, once you understand their moves and motivations, you can act with precision. You're no longer guessing or reacting, you're strategically responding with full knowledge of what's in front of you. This approach puts you in a position to dominate because you're not the one on display. You're keeping your game plan hidden, letting them wonder, letting them overthink. People are so quick to make a move that they don't even realize they're giving you the advantage. They're too focused on you, too eager to control the situation, and in doing so, they let their guard down. Forcing them to play their hand leaves you holding the power, because you now have the knowledge they handed over for free. You've forced them to show their cards, and once you have that, you're in control of the game. So let them play their hand. Let them reveal themselves while you stay composed. Your silence, your calmness, your refusal to engage on their terms, it's all designed to make them show you exactly who they are. And once they do, you'll know exactly how to move. Because while they were busy trying to get you to react, you were busy understanding the game they didn't even realize they were giving away. That's control. That's power. And that's how you stay one step ahead. Letting action speak is one of the most powerful principles you can embrace. In a world saturated with words, promises, and empty rhetoric, actions cut through the noise. People will talk, they'll make grand claims, and share their plans. But when it comes down to it, results are what matter. Talk is cheap, and the louder someone is, the less you should believe them. Real power lies in what you do, not in what you say. When you focus on taking decisive action, you signal to everyone around you that you're serious, that you mean business, and that you're not here for empty discussions or meaningless debates. When you let action speak, you're prioritizing results over words. You stop wasting time justifying your plans or trying to convince others of your vision. Instead, you put in the work. You let your success do the talking for you. People can debate your ideas, criticize your methods, and offer their opinions until they're blue in the face. But when you deliver results, none of that matters. Your actions become a testament to your capabilities, and they prove your worth far better than any words ever could. This approach forces others to respect your decisions because they see you backing up your ambitions with tangible outcomes. The more you deliver, the more credibility you build. You're creating a reputation based on performance rather than promises. Over time, People will come to recognize you as someone who takes action, someone who achieves. When they know you're serious, they're less likely to question your motives or challenge your decisions. They see you as a force to be reckoned with, a doer, not just a talker. Letting action speak also puts the focus where it belongs, on you and your results. The more you demonstrate your capabilities through your actions, the less you need to engage in discussions or defend yourself. You don't have to explain your decisions or justify your path. People will come to see the results and understand that you're not interested in their opinions. You're operating on a different level, one where your track record speaks for itself. And when you achieve something significant, people will take notice, even those who doubted you. Your results will silence critics and transform them into supporters. If they can't ignore you, they'll eventually have to acknowledge your success. Moreover, by focusing on actions instead of words, you position yourself to outmaneuver competitors. While they're busy talking and strategizing, you're executing. You're turning ideas into reality while they're still figuring out the next step. This sets you apart and gives you a strategic advantage. You're not just part of the conversation, you're shaping the outcomes. Your focus on action keeps you ahead of the curve, and that's where real opportunities lie. The beauty of letting action speak is that it allows you to maintain an aura of mystery. You don't need to disclose every plan or every thought, you just need to deliver. People will be left wondering what you're up to, and that uncertainty creates intrigue. You're not giving away your strategy, you're letting your results define you, and when they see you consistently outperforming expectations, it sends a clear message you're not someone to underestimate. So focus on what you can do, not what you can say. Let your actions become your brand, your reputation, and your legacy. The world will remember what you accomplished long after the chatter has faded away. In the end, it's your actions that will carve your path and build your legacy, because while everyone else is talking, you're busy doing, and that's how you leave a lasting impact.